not getting good penetration anywhere here. Welcome back to another really hot installment of Steve's Project Car Garage. My name is Steve. Today we'll be working on the Spitfire again. I am going to go show you some of the process that I have done in trying to prepare for welding in the inner sill and the strengtheners. And then I've got some more prep work to do on that, and then we're going to start welding them in. Again, reality is it's blazing hot here in Central Florida in the middle of summer. It's July. So I'm going to get a little bit of work done tonight, and then I'll probably end up coming back out a night or two later and go from there. I have some time off this week also, so I'll probably be spending a couple of mornings out here, which is really kind of hopeful. So this might be a little bit of a longer video because it's going to be spread out across a couple of days. So stick around. It'll be a good one. All right, so welcome back to my dungeon. So in the last video, you saw me pre-drill all of these holes for plug welds. 76, I believe, on this one. And then I went ahead and did the same to the inner strengthener. So I got these all drilled out, and these guys are all ready to go. I did paint them with 2 coats of Master Series paint. As you can see, it's nice and globby and super thick. But I was running low on the can, and so I said instead of trying to save the can, because I had opened it at that point, I figured I would go ahead and use it. So I went ahead and painted all up in here with the Master Series and the same over here. So I got this now hit with 2 coats of Master Series, which should definitely help protect it. And then when I come to painting the body, I'll go ahead and, scuff it and then paint it. And I do have another can of Master Series, and I really kind of think I may just actually end up doing the entire interior with Master Series and then paint it, including the floors. But we'll get around to that in a much later video. So for now, what we need to do is prepare these further. So now that I have these holes drilled, as you can see, they all need to have the metal cleaned up underneath them. So what I'm going to do is use a Sharpie to kind of indicate on the floor where each one of these welds are. And I'm going to take my little die grinder, and I'm going to just die grind out the paint and get it down to bare metal, so that way it's nice and clean and ready to accept welds. So I got a lot of work to do on that, and I'm going to do that back here and then also along here. So let's get these guys clamped in, and then we'll start on the process of marking it all up. Alright, sorry about the fan noise, but it's hot. So I got my marks here for where I need to go ahead and just clean the metal. Typically I would use a little trick that Hazen, my buddy, told me about using a drill bit, but because of how shallow this is, I won't be able to really kind of get a drill in here. So I just got a little attachment I'm going to put on my Dremel, and then I'm just going to hit these spots with the Dremel real quick and get it prepped. So let's get cracking. Alright, so that worked out pretty well actually. Pretty happy with the results. You can see they line up pretty well. So I got nice clean metal to start with for the weld. Whatever little bit of paint might be there, I'm sure it'll just get burned off. Went ahead and I got the insides, both sides here. So gosh, I think that I'm almost ready to say that it's time to start welding. So I think what I'll probably start doing is just clamp it down on the bottom and make my way through. And then I noticed that when I had it clamped into place over on this side, it did kind of cause this to kind of bow out a little bit. So I'm gonna, seeing as how that's in place there, I'm gonna just clamp, and I'll do that here. And I'm gonna get this whole bottom section welded in. And then I'll go ahead and I'll clamp up for up in here and back here. And I'm gonna make this part, especially because this seems to be what's fighting me the most, I'm gonna make this contour to the inner sill. I mean, it's only about 105 degrees in my garage right now, so let's throw on a jacket and start welding, right? Right? Sounds like a good plan. Let's get cracking. Okay, well, this is what I've learned. So, by painting and not being able to, I guess, accurately clean these spots, because I can see now that there's definitely some issues with where I tried to clean, I'm not getting good penetration. I'm not getting good penetration anywhere here. It seems like it's hitting okay up on the inner sill itself, but it is not penetrating here. So, with that being said, I guess what we're gonna have to do is come through and hit this with the flap disc and just remove that paint. And then I'm gonna have to come back through here and clean this up and try again. Well, I was hoping to really kind of protect this metal as much as possible, but I don't think this was the best way to do it, which means I have to rethink my approach over there. I'm gonna go ahead and figure this out. All right, so back to the bench. Here's what I've done. So I sanded down the bits here where I will be welding, and I removed the Master Series completely, including all of these bits, and also on the upper side here, and all along through here. And then back over on the car itself, same. Went ahead and I just removed all of the Master Series from where the welding is going to be taking place. I'm trying to leave Master Series where there won't be welding, because obviously I want to protect the paint, or protect the metal as much as possible. So we will go with that for the time being. Let's see if we can actually try to do some welding now. All right, back into the hot suit we go. Let's try again for round 2. All right, well, I'm back. So the camera ended up stopping. I got a notification and it made the camera stop, so that's fun. But I kept rolling. So as you can see here, I got this all welded in and that's solid. I went ahead and got this side, and now we spin around over here. I got this side. I'm not 100% happy with some of those welds. I've really got to try to get in from over here maybe and just lay across this so I can try to get those welds a little bit better, because I was kind of going in at it from an angle like this instead of really kind of straight on. But it's in and it's not going anywhere, so I'm gonna call that an overall success. All right, so that's like 10:15 and I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. So I'm gonna wrap up this portion of the video, and then just like in the last one, I'll come back for part 2. So stick around, I'll see you in just a minute. All right, welcome back to part 2. It's now Thursday morning, it's my first day of a 4-day weekend, and we're gonna get some work done. So what we're gonna work on now is getting the inner sill strengthener fit, and then welded that in, and go from there. I ended up having some issues with it that I'll end up showing you here in just a second, and a little bit of work that I did yesterday off camera. All right, so I made a mistake. I did not size this up the way that I really should have, and I just kind of went to town drilling these holes ahead of time, and I found that these holes were actually a little too high, and they were completely missing the inner sill. So what I did yesterday is I went ahead and filled in the holes as best I could. I still have a couple of spots here that I need to just try to finish filling, but maybe I'll just get those once I have it on the car. So what we're going to do now is just get a final fitment on this, and then figure out where I need to, drill these holes, and then I'll start drilling the holes again. So I'm going to get that done. Let's all right, so again, I apologize for the fan noise, but it's hot. So I went ahead and I came through here with the grinder, and I just flattened all my welds along here, and then I just gave it a coat of Master Series. We'll have to first, of course, clean the paint off the areas here that we're going to weld. Although I'm going to try Hazen's method with the drill bit, because I don't really want to grind all the paint back here, because it's definitely a beneficial thing. And I think that I'll have better access with the drill bit here than I did when I was trying to do this. So let's get that going. All right, so I got the panel lined up. Everything looks pretty decent where it should go. I have a flattened down 1/4-inch drill bit, and its sole purpose is to just clean these holes. So let's do it. needs to be ground down, and I'm going to do that here in just a minute, but we are welded in, and once I grind it back, I know I'll probably find a couple little pinholes that I'll have to come back and fill, but I mean, this thing is solid. It's it ain't going anywhere. So I'm really happy to get to this point. What'll happen next is I'm going to grind down all of these, and I also have all these over here that I did not grind down before. Once I get that ground down though, then I'm going to have to come back in and give it some paint, and then prepare to figure out how to get the wing on. And once the wing's on, I will then go ahead and figure out the outer sill. So let me go ahead and get this ground down. Now I've got my 80 grit DA. Just gonna hit this real quick, finish flattening them out, and we'll wrap the video up. Alright, so after hitting this with the DA, I can see there's clearly some voids in some of these welds that I'm going to have to address. Not a big deal. I can just come back and hit it real quick, zip, and it should be good. Same along here. Most of these are pretty decent. I still may take the actual flap disc to this. I was trying to be a little less aggressive with the DA, but some of these are still pretty proud, and I want this to be flat as can be, because when I put the sill on, this is where the sill's going to go ahead and weld up to, so you want it as flat as possible. And then coming inside here, and same deal. These are still a little bit proud, so I'll probably just take the flap disc to this and flatten them out a little bit more. I just don't want to make the metal thin. That's why I'm so concerned about the flap disc, because the flap disc is very aggressive. So anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, well, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to go ahead and work on the driver's side next. Again, like I have been doing in the past, I'm not going to film it. I'm just going to knock it out because, well, you see me do it once. You don't need to see me do it again because it'll be the exact same process over on the other side. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button, click the bell, click the like, you know the drill. And just remember, when you're working on your project cars, don't be the dreaded previous owner. Cheers.